Welcome back to my channel, Star Booze.
However, does married life appear to be a little? You find it boring. Is it boring? Little sedate? No, I've noticed some intriguing weddings which I have found to be uninteresting unions. Are you in love with them? Excuse me? Are you in love with me? All of us think of him as Titanic's Jack. Young, unafraid, and madly in love. However, Leonardo DiCaprio is not merely that part that will never be forgotten. Throughout the years, he is now among the top stars in Hollywood. Stars. Red carpet, Oscars, and popular films moments. He has completed everything. However, while his profession flourished, his personal life remained complex, particularly in relation to affection. Leo, who is 50, has dated supermodels, departed from committed partnerships, and steered clear of one crucial query. Why has he never wed? The delay, however, is over. DiCaprio, for the first time, ultimately reveals the true cause of his lifetime choice. Come along as we look into his private life and find the real reason why. It is Leonardo DiCaprio's claim that he will never walk down the path. From a modest home in Los Angeles, the world Leonardo DiCaprio's rise to fame began. On November 11, 1974, in Los Angeles, California. He was the sole child of George and Moline, a legal secretary DiCaprio, a creative person. They first connected while attending college and after graduating, relocated to Los Angeles. Leonardo's mother gave him his name because she felt kicked for the first time in a long time. Examining a picture by Leonardo da Vinci in a museum in Italy. Leonardo was his parents divorced when he was still a baby. George had developed feelings for someone else. Woman and left, but both of their parents. They lived because they still desired to raise him in adjacent residences with a shared garden. George remained with his Adam Ferrar, her son, and her girlfriend. Leonardo and Adam grew close and even admired him. During Leonardo's childhood, he traveled throughout Los Angeles with his mother, Angeles, encompassing a community known as Los Feliz. According to Leonardo, the parents were pretty free-spirited. Additionally, he said that he was raised in a difficult environment, surrounded by poverty and criminality. However, he always respected and had faith in his parents. He attended several schools, encompassing the Los Angeles Center for John Marshall, high school and enhanced studies school. However, Leonardo didn't like ordinary school. What he truly desired was to act, having aspirations outside the classroom. Leonardo's childhood dream was to become an actor or marine biologist. He selected acting because he enjoyed doing it. He enjoyed making faces, imitating others, and observing the reactions of others. His affection for acting began at a young age. It started, he said, when he danced at the age of 2, making people on stage at a festival grin. Leonardo became further intrigued when he seen Adam, his stepbrother, get paid for a television ad. That position made Adam Leo witnessed what was possible with $50,000. Later, he attempted to perform on the children's show. He claims to have been booted out of the romper room, dismissed for causing too much disturbance. The presenter denied this story, though. At one point, Leonardo nearly quit performing in order to, after winning, concentrate on breakdancing, second place in a German competition. He acquired his first professional job at the age of 14. Advertisement for Matchbox automobiles. That opened doors, and he soon created advertisements for Bubble, Apple Jacks, and Kraft Singles Yum. However, it wasn't simple to get there. He searched for a year and a half, an agent. He was even instructed by one agent to adopt the name Lenny Williams, in order to seem more like Americans. He declined. With his father's help, he persisted. At last, a family friend assisted him in obtaining, casting directors took notice, and shortly Leo touched down at about 20 advertisements. Beginning, modestly considering large, Leonardo's very first acting role arrived in 1989. He portrayed Glenn in 2 The New Lassie episodes. From there, he received a few little pieces, such as in Santa Barbara and the television program The Outsiders. His breakthrough occurred when he joined the Parenthood television series, where he portrayed a disturbed teenager named Gary Buckman. He studied and took the task seriously. The performance by Phoenix in the original film. His contributions to Santa and Parenthood, he received 2 Youth and Cinema Awards from Barbara. Nominations for awards. At about the same time, he made an appearance on a game show named In the Funhouse. He had to perform amusing acrobatics such as using his teeth. As a young performer, Leo was vivacious and constantly prepared to amuse yourself. Leonardo made his debut in 1991, first appearance in the horror film Critters 3 movie. Later, he made a joke about it being one of the worst films ever made, and nothing. He took pride in it. In the same year, he played a homeless child named Luke Brower on the television program Growing Pains. The creators engaged him to attract younger audiences, particularly girls. Joanna Carnes, an actress, said Leonardo was intelligent, jovial, and enjoyed making jokes. Despite the decline in ratings, Leo still received 3rd nomination for an award for his performance, gaining admiration. In Hollywood, Leo had a little part in 1992 within Poison Ivy. However, something considerably larger came next. It was Robert Darrow who selected him to play the lead in This Boy's Life, according to the author Tobias Wolff's true story. Leo depicted Toby, a disturbed teenager with a challenging stepfather. Darrow performed in The Stepfather. It was a challenging position, and Leo had much to learn. Michael Caton, Director Jones, claimed that Leo was unsure on how to respond to a genuine set initially. Therefore, he employed a rigorous style to instruct him. Leo attended the classes. Really, the film received acclaim, particularly for the way Leo displayed his character development. The critics were inspired, and This Boy's Life turned into the film that caused people to take notice him. He wasn't finished yet, though. Only a year later on, he delivered a stirring performance in What's Gilbert Grape Eating?, where he portrayed a youngster with developmental impairments. That part earned him his inaugural Academy Award nomination. People were astounded by how his acting was genuine and passionate. Leonardo continued to ascend. He starred in Romeo and Juliet, a romance movie, Titanic, in 1997 and 1996. They were both enormous hits, particularly Titanic, which turned into the top-grossing film at the time. He became a worldwide celebrity as a result. Everyone suddenly recognized Leonardo DiCaprio was. His admirers adored him, yet he wanted to avoid being forced to play the forever romantic dude. Thus, he took a vacation and returned with a fresh strategy. He desired to experiment with several roles. In 2002, he acted in the films Catch Me If You Can, New York Gangs. The second movie was his initial collaboration with the director Scorsese, Martin. Later on, they produced numerous films together and developed into a powerful group. Leo continued to play important parts. In the film, he portrayed a distressed businessman, Pilot A, Diamond Smuggler in Blood, 2004 Diamond, 2006, as well as a policeman in The Departed, 2006. Every role revealed a different aspect of him. He portrayed a married man in The Revolutionary Road is in Crisis. His performance was always intense and profound. In the 2010s, he continued to be active. He was the star, Django Unchained, Inception, and The Wall Street Wolf. In 2015, he ultimately received an Oscar for his role in The Revenant, portrayed a frontiersman engaged in combat tow-endure. Later, he made an appearance in Once Upon, Don't Look Up While You Are in Hollywood. His most recent role was in Killers of the 2023 Flower Moon. Beyond the, Leonardo didn't simply stop at the screen, performing. He founded the business A&W Productions. It contributed to the creation of several of his movies and a television show named Greensburg. Additionally, he gained notoriety for another thing: preserving the environment. The Leonardo DiCaprio was made by him, foundation to increase public awareness of the surroundings. In 2005, he received a significant distinction, establishing him as a commander of the His work has earned him an Order of Arts and Letters in the creative arts. Additionally, Time magazine in 2016 ranked him among the top 100 prominent individuals worldwide. Additionally, he became a messenger for the United Nations of Tranquility. Consequently, he speaks out against worldwide concerns, particularly the climate shift. He eventually came to represent leveraging celebrity for a greater good. InFans chose him as one of the 50 in 2022. The best actors in Empire History Readers Survey. However, behind all the celebrity and achievement, one thing remained constant. People continued to wonder, for what reason has Leonardo DiCaprio has never been wed? That he was always followed by questions, and at 50, Leo is now at last prepared to respond to it. However, to comprehend the entire In light of this, let's examine his connections from the beginning. The performer who dated the most well-known women in the world. Leonardo DiCaprio has consistently produced headlines for his films, for example, or his romantic life. Since he became fame on the Titanic, individuals have been wondering who he's seeing. Above thee, he has been connected to numerous famous women, particularly models and actors. Indeed, it has evolved into a pattern of sorts. Among the first names associated with him were Hall Bridget. She enjoyed popularity. 1990s Victoria's Secret model. The odd occasions, two were frequently spotted together. Back in 1994. Despite their little communication, people thought she was Leo's because of it. First girlfriend who was a model. Next up was Naomi Campbell, another well-known model. Their alleged relationship took place in the middle of the 1990s. It was short-lived, but the fact that they stayed is interesting. Close companions. Years later, they've still been seen taking a trip together and attending charitable functions. In 2015, rapper 50 Cent uploaded a picture with the caption, "EB, photobombed by the most attractive individuals in the entire world. Try surviving without boundaries with DiCaprio and Campbell in the image." He then went on to date. He used Kristen Zhang as a model for the Romeo and Juliet's debut in 1996. However, the pair only split up prior to Titanic's appearance and transformation. Forever, Leo's life. Having said that, things were somewhat hazy when Demi Moore came into play. The pair were seen together in 1997, but Moore remained wed to, at the time, Bruce Willis. There's not strong evidence that they were in a partnership, but nobody was able to assist but speak. Then there was Helena. Christensen is another well-known figure from the modeling industry. They were frequently spotted at gatherings around the time of the Titanic was made public. Once more, there was no both parties' confirmation, so some think they were merely companions. There was more to DiCaprio's romantic life. Indeed, the ensuing years were jam-packed with brief liaisons and gossip that continued his name in the spotlight. Brief love stories and not verify rumors. Among them was Amber Valletta. Supposed fires. At the time, gossip claimed that after seeing her picture in a magazine, Leah requested that his people contact her. It sounds like a straight thing, from a motion picture. However, similar to many Ovis connections, it was never verified. Later on, Valletta wedded an Olympian, followed by a finance knowledgeable. Another name that surfaced was the Czech model, Eva Herzegová. They allegedly had a brief romance that lasted 2 months, following their encounter at the man's premiere, wearing the Iron Mask. However, Ava later denied nothing romantic ever occurred. The first committed partnership that got Gisele Bündchen received genuine attention. For over 6 years, the couple dated from 1999 to 2005. Leo was more serious about this. Connections. The pair even went to the Amazon rainforest in 2004 to raise awareness of environmental problems. Once, Gisele gave her perspective on the narrative in Lessons, My Life, her 2018 book route to a life of meaning. She penned, "I'm not smoking to numb myself anymore, drinking and working too hard. I was growing increasingly conscious of things I had decided not to look at it. Was I? Alone in wishing to take some significant action, pondering while he remained unchanged. Unfortunately, in the end, the response, yes." Later, Gisele wed an NFL player, began a family with Tom Brady, but her spending time with Leo continues to be one of his most renowned connections. A couple more models' renowned faces. Bar Fa, another well-known name in the field of modeling. The two got to know one other, to a Las Vegas party, went on a date, and off for 5 years. They were even spotted watching a Lakers game from the floor in 2010. In May, they broke up, 2011. In an interview with a magazine, Raffaele talked about how the split aided in her development. "I came to understand she said, a lot of personal information. I worked on. I matured together with myself. I had no idea what was like being alone. I am aware today that AA relationship can only succeed if you are aware of. You can be by yourself, but you're not terrified." While DiCaprio was away from Raffaele, dated Russian beauty Anne Violetina, whom Victoria's Secret collaborated with and Sports Illustrated. Their love affair didn't endure, and Anne subsequently moved on to wed singer Adam Levine. In 2011, admirers were taken aback when DiCaprio began dating the gossip star Blake Lively, a girl. They fell in love quickly and fierce. They were spotted aboard a boat, alongside one another in Cannes, and also seen in locations such as New York, Italy, and even Australia. The Gossip Girl producer, Joshua Safran, recalled a humorous incident from at that moment. Blake was dating. He claimed DiCaprio, and she possessed this something in which she took a doll. She emailed Leo pictures of it. It was her. Method of recording existence prior to Instagram existed at all. Additionally, as time passed, Leonardo DiCaprio's dating history continued to increase with younger models as a recurring theme. Additional romances throughout the last few decades. Leonardo DiCaprio was spotted riding in 2012 biking with Aaron and New York City model Heatherton for Victoria's Secret. All it needed for the relationship rumors to start was that first. Despite their short lifespan, lengthy, it appears that the split wasn't bitter. Aaron stated years later, "He's an amazing individual and a friend of mine. I hope the best for him." That says a lot. The subsequent year, 2013, Miranda Kerr was associated with Leo's name. One more model for Victoria's Secret. She had actor Orlando Bloom, and I just parted ways. At a dinner, the two were seen with Las Vegas buddies, but before anyone may be referred to as a romance, those close to they claimed it was merely a get-together dinner. Later, Miranda wed a tech billionaire. Evan Spiegel and have 2 children. In 2013, a Brazilian model by the name of, according to Kat Torres, she was seeing DiCaprio. According to her, they met at KN and in, according to an interview she posted, "Leo is fantastic, but I'm concerned about what he'll imagine me speaking to you. We possess an agreement that will never be discussed, our connection." Nevertheless, shortly after, her remarks were made public and reports surfaced, rejecting the partnership. As stated by Leo and Kat, News were never a couple. Thus far, it is evident that Leonardo's relationships either remain extremely silent or provoke a number of inquiries. However, there was yet more to come. Red carpets, models, and persistent rumors. In 2014, Leo and Tony were romantically involved. Garen, a model of German descent who also strutted the Victoria's Secret runway. They dated discreetly for around 18 years. Months prior to their December breakup. Actor Alex was Tony's eventual spouse. Pettifer, revealing their wedding in 2020 pictures from Hamburg, where she was born. A few years following their split in images from September 2017 showed Leo and Tony strolling alongside him in New York following dinner. Some questioned whether they were dating once more, but it appeared that they were simply reuniting as old pals. Nothing else ever emerged from it. Next, DiCaprio was seen in 2015 getting near actress Kelly Rohrbach, who is the finest renowned for her Baywatch role. They were spotted seated together in the United States. Bicycling is open and even permitted in New York City. Similar to a lot of his previous relationships, and this one remained private. However, the photographers didn't overlook a beaten. Then, the most outrageous rumor of Rihanna, all of you. In 2016, the vocalist and the actors were spotted together at Coachella. Additionally, they were observed at parties at Rihanna's and in Paris after party after a birthday in 2017. The gossip became so well known that a French tabloid asserted that Rihanna was pregnant by Leo. That was a wholly untrue story. DiCaprio even filed a lawsuit and prevailed. The situation. The question of whether the two were a true couple at one point, but fans were thrilled to see them together. Frame. July of 2016 saw Leo begin dating. Nina Agdal is a Danish model. She was 24 years old when their relationship appeared somewhat more transparent than others. By October of that year, reports claimed that things were becoming serious. However, similar to many others who came before her, Nina's quietly, the time spent with Leo ended, without controversy or negative publicity, and Camilla Morrone followed. The relationship lasted longer than usual, around 5 years. It's almost a record in DiCaprio's romantic history. Actress Camilla and Modell, who was 20 at the time they started dating in late 2017. Leo and Nena were still seen together in. By the end of May of that year, however, he was obviously accompanied by Camilla. Their bond received a lot of attention, primarily due to the age void. People discussed it online. Continuously. Camilla did not remain quiet. She uploaded a video to Instagram in 2019. I just read some of he said. My God, comments on my Instagram. People are incredibly cruel and irate. With individuals they don't know. Living without hatred feels good, she continued, fairly decent. In the same year, she also talked to the Times of Los Angeles. Camilla stated, there are a lot of relationships in Hollywood as well as throughout the history of Thea society with wide age differences. Simply said, I believe that everybody should be able to date anyone they like. At the same time, she said, I most likely would be interested in it as well. One heartwarming specifics, she once shared a picture of herself in Thailand at Koh Phi Phi, the identical island where DiCaprio shot the beach in 1999. Additionally, even though the pair went to they sat close to each other at the 2020 Oscars each other throughout the space. By August, according to sources, in 2022, they had gone their separate directions. Following 5 years of dating, Leo and Camilla decided to part ways. However, it wasn't the end of attempts to introduce Leo to a new person. The Gigi Hadid chapter. Following Camilla and DiCaprio breakup, Gigi Hadid caught everyone's attention. Rumors are quick to spread. Individuals began to say the two were having a covert relationship. Their every action was monitored by paparazzi, and headlines continued to appear. However, sources at last, someone near Leo set up. A source informed the Daily Mail that they attempted dating a while back to check if anything may be there, yet there's only wasn't. According to the source, Leo and Gigi had a lengthy friendship, but nothing lovable emerged from it. Additionally, they stated that they are not in an unrestricted, open relationship connected. People just must allow this to proceed. Leo and ex-Guy have not ever made public remarks regarding the rumors, and Gigi is currently seeing an actor, Bradley Cooper. Was there anything then genuine between Gigi and Leo? As stated by people who know them, simply friendship and nothing else. However, with DiCaprio, stories tend to develop with time. His personal private life has remained that way, and despite the world's intense observation, he hardly discusses who he is dating or the reason he keeps things quiet. However, recently, one name has emerged from the Get Some Rest. An individual who appears to be more than merely another headline. Following years of brief liaisons and discreet splits, DiCaprio's most recent partnership has people conversing for other purposes. Victoria Cerati and Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo DiCaprio was initially connected to Victoria, is a famous Italian model. According to reports, the two met at the Killers of the Flower Moon's premiere in May at the Cannes Film Festival, not long after they were observed interacting in Nita, which only served to stoke the dating rumors. Victoria began modeling. At just 14 years old, has experience working with major fashion labels such as Gucci, Versace, Alexander McQueen, and Balenciaga. She's been involved in the fashion industry for many years. She has established a solid reputation for herself. She was married prior to meeting DiCaprio. To Matteo Milleri, an Italian DJ, although the marriage terminated in 2023. Following her breakup, things appeared to go quickly between DiCaprio and her. In August 2023, the two were observed taking a trip to Sardinia, Italy, together, and then there were yet more sightings. Halloween gatherings, the Rolling Stones' performance in a journey to Miami's Art Basel, Las Vegas, and even the 49th birthday of DiCaprio Los Angeles party. In Page 6 posted images in September of Cerati and DiCaprio hanging out with his mom. This incident caused individuals to believe that the partnership was becoming very seriously. Upon meeting the family, people begin to question if this is the one. Naturally, though, with Leonardo, it's never that easy, DiCaprio. There are rumors of marriage. Even though Leo and Victoria appear to enjoy each other's company, according to insiders, he's not going to get married. As stated to sources, despite his admiration for DiCaprio is still unable to feel they must formally make everything via union. According to a source on Page 6, Lo believes he will never get married. He doesn't think tying is necessary. The ceremony to formally begin is their eyes. They also mentioned that he truly enjoys spending time with Cerati and their partnership, but in terms of, he simply doesn't want to become a husband. Imagine himself in that position. That information may not be to everyone's taste. According to another insider, Victoria is committed to becoming Mrs. DiCaprio. She isn't your typical girlfriend. She's putting money into the partnership on each level. She is demonstrating her extreme devoted to knowing and loving him in all levels. She is not merely another trophy girlfriend, the insider claimed. In Touch Weekly, they made an addition. Intriguing. In fact, she's playing this excellently since Leo has a really geeky side and everybody who will endure his life's long-term goal must be in favor of that. Thus, even if Leo is renowned for his stylish Hollywood persona, it appears to have a more subdued, softer individual side. Additionally, Cerati may just be the type of lady who can relate to that. Nevertheless, if she's hoping that, according to Insiders, marriage might be she can't win the struggle. No ring, but lots of public events. Individuals actually began to conjecture as to when Victoria was seen with a diamond ring on. A few supporters believed it to be Leo's proposal. However, that was untrue. The ring had been a piece of jewelry she has owned since 2022, before to her encounter with DiCaprio. Even fans made jokes on the internet that perhaps Leo was ready to settle down at last. He reached 50. I came to the realization that it was time to get a life. One person joked, LOL. However, those close to him claimed that DiCaprio is still not interested in marriage.desires. Furthermore, this concept is not new. He's dated a lot of famous women. Giselle Camilla Yet, Bar Raffaelli, Bunchon Yi. He has never had a chance to marry. Each time a partnership sincerely, he was always hampered by something. Despite being in his 50s now, the pattern appears to be ongoing. His connection to Victoria Chiretti could be unique, and it has indeed lasted longer, more than most anticipated. But that doesn't indicate the arrival of a wedding. Additionally, for those pondering whether parenting is in his future, but that's an other story. Narrative. 50 years old and considering the future. Leonardo DiCaprio's 50th birthday. 11 November 2024. That's a significant milestone for anybody. Additionally, for someone who has spent so much time in the spotlight, naturally, people started to wonder what's next. Remarkably, DiCaprio has stated that he still finds fatherhood to be desires. He stated in a recent interview, "It's true, but I'm confident it will be. My age isn't decreasing." That's for the first time. He has truly talked about desiring children. It might not imply getting married. Is approaching, but it does indicate that he's having a new perspective on life. However, those who are familiar with him say identical. They don't anticipate that he will married. The Sun was informed by one source. Leo's acting is actual passion. Relationships frequently take a back seat since he is fully commits to each part, making he was really successful. That's the pattern that has been seen for years. He dating women who are younger. He takes pleasure in his time alongside them. However, when things begin to get grave, his attention returns to his profession. Everyone has one thing in common. Agreed. However, DiCaprio Leonardo Issa committed performer. When he was just initially, he collaborated with Robert in the movie This Boy's Life, Dyro. That experience altered his perspective on acting. At one point, DiCaprio told The Guardian, "I observed his work and recognized the quality he was an actor, and he remarked to, 'I will never waste this on myself.' Chance." But he never did that. The same commitment is what drove him to Hollywood's highest level. Additionally, it's what might have prevented him from getting married. Thus, despite the fact that media and fans continue to inquiring as to when DiCaprio will eventually receive. If you're married, the answer may be no. He's pleased with Victoria. He likes to spend time with her. However, he believes that marriage just isn't required. What are your thoughts concerning Leonardo DiCaprio's private life? Will he ever reconsider union? Post your ideas and their marks below. Additionally, remember to hit. Please like, subscribe, and check back for more. Amazing tales from Hollywood's intriguing past. I'll see you later.